Hey everyone, it's Heather from Alkaline Rush, and welcome back to the next installment of Surviving Toddlerhood. So, this month our topic is pets. So, all the videos you'll see this month are all about pets, as you probably know already. So, I have a 3-year-old Noah, and right now we don't have any animals. We just moved into a new place, and we've been thinking about getting him an animal, probably a rat, which sounds crazy to some of you, but I'll explain, why. But yeah, so pets are great. We're big animal fans, and I think having an animal is great for your kid because it's their own, little buddy, their own pet, and two, it teaches kids a lot of responsibility. You can give them certain jobs, to give the animal water, give the animal food. If it has bedding, change the animal's bedding. So it gives toddlers and young kids a lot of responsibility, and I think that's really good. So instead of just blabbing on about the benefits of pets, what I figured I would do is um, just give a list of pets, possible pet choices for if it's your first pet or whatever pet. But ones that are good for young kids, and figured I'd talk about pricing, to help you guys pick out which animal is best. So I know it doesn't mean much, but I used to work at a pet store. I helped manage it for a while, and I sold a lot of setups um, for animals for their first setup, and took care of a lot of them. So hopefully I can help you guys if you're looking into a new pet and you don't know what you want to get, or what's good for you and your family or your home. Hopefully I can help you out. So excuse me looking aside, I just have a list so I don't forget my order. And also I want to apologize in advance if the video quality is a little buggy. I'm filming on a webcam. Normally I film on my HD camera, but I'm having some problems with that. So just stay with me here, and I hope this video helps you and it's informative. So first on my list is dogs and cats. Great pets. Sure, everyone knows. Everyone knows someone that has a dog or a cat. My only suggestion is if you're picking out a dog or a cat, if it's an older animal, you want to check with the previous owner and really know the temperament of that animal. So with, like, say if you're getting a kitten, you're not going to know what temperament. But if you're getting a puppy, dogs, just look into the breed, whatever breed you're looking into. Just make sure it's right for you and your family. How some dogs are more yippy, and some dogs are more cuddly, and also hypoallergenic fur. If anyone in your family has allergies, you want to look into getting a dog with hypoallergenic fur. So that is my suggestion for dogs and cats. So next I'm going to get into the little ones, rodents. I know a lot of people get hamsters or gerbils or mice as first pet, and that's great. It's a little contained thing, little cage, and it's great for kids to learn to change the food, change the water, and help change the bedding because you're going to need to be changing bedding. So I figured I'd get into animals that kids can hold because your toddler or young child is probably going to want to pick up and squeeze whatever pet they're getting. So I'm just going to give you my experience on hamsters in general. A lot of people get hamsters, and I've just seen this happen a lot. They get 2 of them. They figure they'll get, each hamster can have a buddy. They have 2 pets, and not a good idea because with hamsters, they're very protective of their environment and they need to be alone. So unless I've seen rare occasions where people have had 2 hamsters, but to be in the safe bet, you really just want to get 1. Also because they will fight nonstop, and you don't want your child to wake up and run and see the leftover mess in the cage. If you guys get what I'm saying, I'm just saying 1 hamster wins. So, and also they're kind of hard to hold. I mean, some hamsters, again, it's all animals are with their temperaments. Some are gonna let you hold them a little longer, but in my experience, hamsters bite a lot more, and they're not easy to hold. So instead of hamsters, if you really want to get 2 of that animal, definitely recommend rats, mice, or gerbils. Gerbils are great. I don't think they're as smart as hamsters, but I don't think it really matters. But you can hold them for a little longer than you would. I think they bite less. But again, every animal's different. Check out the pet shop, see their temperament, and ask whoever takes care of the animals, whoever in the pet store, whoever changes their bedding and food and water. They're gonna know which hamster is the more aggressive or gerbil, and which animal is, more cuddly. So definitely check with whoever is taking care of them, because they will know. And mice. Mice make surprisingly great pets. I guess I'd put them more in the category of a gerbil. Maybe a little more tame. You can really get them hand tamed sometimes. And rats. Oh, rats. I know a lot of people are freaked out by rats. They just gross them out. But if you're not one of those people, I think a rat is like the best pet you can get for a whole bunch of reasons. They're super friendly. And when I say pet rat, I'm talking about fancy rats, not the white feeder rat with the red eyes most people, think of when you hear pet rat. So just if you look in the pet stores, they usually have a section, a little tank aside. They'll say fancy rats, and they're the colored rats, brown. Sometimes they have big ears, Dumbo-eared rats. Sometimes they're Rex, so they have curly hair and curly whiskers. So believe it or not, there's some pretty cute rats out there. Some of you might be like, yeah, right, but really. And they do have tailless, because I know the tail freaks people out. They're hard to find, though. But rats are super cuddly. They're so social, and they love to be together. You can put like 10 rats in a cage, a big enough cage for 10 rats, but you'll find them all cuddling together and playing together. And in fact, they're so social that it's been said if you are not going to be there to play with your rat at least once a day, and to get it a buddy, because they actually get sad and lonely and depressed when you're not there interacting with them. So they're great pets. Rats are great pets. They're super tame. You can walk around, hold them. They'll nibble food out of your hand. I mean, they're the best. So that is my suggestion for a rodent, instead of a hamster or a gerbil for young kids. But again, not every mother or father is going to want their child to have a rat. And also, one thing about them too is they're a little bit more pricey with the startup. Like, you're going to have to get a cage big enough for probably about a ferret. Maybe not that big, but something with 2 levels is ideal. And I know you'll probably see them in tanks at the pet store, like a 10-gallon fish tank. But for mice, rats, and gerbils, that's fine. But rats, their urine has a lot of ammonia in it, and that the glass walls are a no-no. So definitely look into getting a nice big wire cage for a rat. Another caged animal that you can play with is a ferret. Again, their temperaments are kind of iffy. Sometimes you get a really cuddly ferret, sometimes you get a nippy one. So definitely, again, ask whoever you're getting it from, whoever was taking care of it last. Check into it. Also, they can be pretty pricey. So, I got to keep that in mind. And also, they need daily cleaning. Their cage needs to be completely cleaned out every day. I mean, you can skip it, but it's probably really going to stink. So, but if you're teaching your kid to have a lot of responsibility with cleaning, and they really want it, they're going to have to clean out that cage every single day. So, and also one good thing about ferrets, ferrets can be a little stubborn in this area, sometimes rats, but you can potty train them, believe it or not. You just get like a little tray, they sell it at the pet store, and you put it in one corner, and you just take their droppings, and it sounds gross, but this is how it's done. You put their droppings in that tray, and eventually they will smell it and get the point that that's where they poop. So you can litter train a rodent, believe it or not. What else is on my list here? Fish are great, but of course, you can't cuddle a fish. And they also could get pretty pricey if you're wanting to get a big tank, or sadly a lot of the most colorful, prettiest fish are tropical fish, so that adds more to the price. You're gonna need a heater for that water. But if you want a cheap, simple easy little fish. You can get a betta fish. They're maybe $3. You can put them in a bowl, literally that tiny. They actually prefer small places to live. So that's a definite awesome first pet. The only thing is you can't cuddle with it, but you can have your child, change the water, give it food every day. I think the only bad thing I could think of is if it gets knocked over, or I guess if the fish gets overfed and the water gets so gross that it dies. But they live a pretty long time, believe it or not, more than goldfish. So if you're thinking of getting a goldfish in a bowl, get a betta fish instead, because goldfish, like rats, they produce a lot of ammonia, and you're going to need to clean the water out more. So it's really better to get a filtered tank for goldfish. They don't need a heater though, so you'll save a little money on that. But they also grow really fast. So, and you're going to need to, with fish, you're going to need to expand the tank if they get huge. And betta fish stay really small. So definitely recommend that. See, reptiles. Reptiles are pretty good for us pets. I would just say depending on which one you choose. Certain geckos, they bite more. Certain snakes bite more. So you just want to keep that in mind. There are 2 or 3 reptiles that I really recommend though, but they can get very pricey. A bearded dragon, they are great. They're kind of like rats in a sense, where they really get to know you. They know their owner, and I don't think you can call a bearded dragon cuddly, a lizard cuddly, but I mean they're a type of lizard that you could just hold in your hand and walk around with. The same kind of deal. They're just chill, as I call them. They are pretty pricey though. They're about maybe $60 to $100, $50. You might be able to find it cheaper on like Craigslist, or if you know someone who's giving it away. But they're great reptiles for a pet. And with reptiles, you are going to get a little pricey with the lighting, but once it's done, it's done. Upkeep isn't too expensive. Sometimes they'll eat crickets. Certain reptiles will eat pinkies. Like if you're getting snakes, those are baby mice. A lot of them, though, eat vegetables. And they also sell little pellets. They have tons of food for reptiles. Another one I would recommend is a tortoise. They can get very expensive. Or a turtle. But with all reptiles, you want to keep in mind, you should really have your toddler at an age where they know and understand hand washing and get the responsibility of washing their hands every time they touch, like every time they're done playing with their reptile, because kids can get sick, hands near the mouth. I don't know if it's salmonella or something, where it's, your kid will be throwing up and maybe diarrhea and all that. If they're not washing their hands after they're playing with their reptile. Like, I know a lot of people, when I used to work at a pet store, they would come in looking for the turtles that were, about that big, and they're legal. And it's not because people always say, oh, because they're endangered. No, those are red-eared sliders, and they're all over the place. Not endangered. The actual reason they made them illegal is because toddlers were putting them right in the mouth. So that's just putting it out there. There's something you want to keep in mind. You're going to be doing a lot of hand washing. But a turtle's a good pet too. It's just you're going to want to get a big tank because they grow really big, and you're going to want to get a water filter. So that can get expensive. And those need to go in a fish tank, a big, usually a low one. A low, long one is good for those. So, and they're going to need less lights though as other reptiles, in my experience. And tortoises are great. They could be very expensive, but they're not underwater, and they're pretty chill. So the only thing is you really can't cuddle with it, but they can probably carry their tortoise around. Again, I'm not saying they have to wash their hands or they'll die. Just make sure they're not putting their hands in their mouth while they're playing. Like you don't want to have your kid eating a bag of chips and also playing with the turtle in his hand. That's not the best idea. So I don't want to scare you by saying reptiles will make your kid sick. Just saying hand washing, keep that in mind. And the last thing I have on the list is birds. I'm iffy about birds with kids because a lot of them, with little kids, because a lot of them do bite. And Sometimes, you can get a hand-trained parakeet, cockatiel. Cockatiels can be a little nasty, but sometimes not. Like some birds you can tame, some birds you can't. And unfortunately, the most tame birds are usually pretty big and pretty expensive for the whole setup. But if your kid doesn't need to hold their animal, you can put a parakeet in a cage, and that's a cheap, simple, pet. You just want to get something for their beak, foods and treat sticks, and a lot of perches so the bird can be perched up. So that's about it on my list of first pets. I really hope this was informative in some way for you guys. I hope it helped out, especially if you guys are looking into getting a new pet. And I hope it helped lay out some information and options that maybe you didn't know about. So yeah, that's it for this month. It was awesome doing the video. I love you guys. I love this group, and I'm really looking forward to next month's videos. So, alright guys, be easy.